अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीथी मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपते
संस्थापकं वीरम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुरु सुधारी, बरनउँ रघुवर विमल जसु जो दायकु फलचारी। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार, बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन वरन विराज सुवेसा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीनी बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई। सहस वदन तुमरो जस गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज संभारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासै रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके के काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है, प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, सवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महा सुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
Jai Shri Krishna. A warm welcome to all the Geeta sadhakas in this Zoom premises. Meditation is the best medicine for our mind as well as to our body. Naman to Shri Krishna's lotus feet. Naman to the sacred presence of Param Pujya Swami Shri Govind Dev Giriji Maharaj. I am Prajakta from Geeta Pariwar, welcoming all the sadhakas to this Vivechan session. To concentrate our mind on Shri Krishna's lotus feet, I would like to invite Chiranjeevini Didi to perform prayer. She is committed member of Geeta Pariwar since 2023, giving seva as TA, GCCT, etc. Jai Shri Krishna Didi.
जय श्री कृष्ण। वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं।
Thank you, Didi, for this beautiful prayer. The light illuminates our lives. The divine light from Bhagavad Gita enter our lives as wisdom. I would like to invite Ashwini Lakhe Didi to perform Deep Pragatya. She is a devoted member of Geeta Pariwar from 2021, giving seva as co-trainer in L2 level. Jai Shri Krishna Didi.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you so much, Didi. We need to control our mind and brain from deviation to achieve any goal or move forward in our path. Today, we have opportunity to get guidance of Shraddha ji Raodeo Didi on this path. Didi is from Hyderabad, disciple of Param Pujya Swamiji Govind Dev Giriji Maharaj, deeply committed to the Geeta Pariwar's mission since August 2022. She laid the foundation of the monitoring team and currently leading literature publication and proofreading team, also serving as a Vivechak for online Geeta classes. Jai Shri Krishna Didi. Jai Shri Krishna Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna Didi. Am I audible, Didi?
Yes, Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna. A very, very warm welcome to the session, all of you. Just give me a minute, Didi. Jai Shri Krishna, everyone. A very, very warm welcome to the session, each one of you. Let us all begin with a prayer. At the lotus feet of Param Pujya Gurudev, with whose blessings we are set on this path of Karma Yoga, on this path of Atma Sanyam, on the path of this Atma Jnana, on the path of Sthita Pragyata and Karma Yoga. All in all, we are on this beautiful path of yoga by the virtue of, by the grace of Param Pujya Gurudev and Shri Krishna himself. Let us all bow down together. Hari Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Haraye Paramatmane Pranatah Kleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshini Bhagavati Mashtadashatyayini Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad-gīte Bhavatveshini. Om Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shri Krishnaya Namaha. Hari Om. A very, very warm welcome to each one of you, and lots of congratulations to have reached so far in this journey of Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā. Reached at a point where we get a very beautiful insight into what is this Bhagavad Gita. Where is it taking us? It is taking, at the moment, the chapter that we are learning, the second chapter. We have seen in the earlier sessions also that this is like an index. It is giving a deep dive into what all is there in this entire Shastra. And so far we have completed 4 sessions of this entire chapter. And we have seen some very beautiful principles. This chapter started on a very beautiful note from Parampita Paramatma. Initially, he has given his share of slightly harsh words to Arjun, asking, "What is wrong with you?" And gradually understanding the depth of the situation. And when Arjun has accepted the discipleship completely, when Arjun has surrendered to this Parampita Paramatma, Shri Krishna has opened his heart for Arjun himself, and by the means of Arjun, he has opened his heart for us. He has given us what we need the most. He has given us different kinds of assurances that He is always there to support us. He is always there to guide us through everything, and that is why He has given this scripture as a part of what? As our mother. We will be seeing eventually that why we call her our mother, but just as a mother, irrelevant of what your age is, irrelevant of which phase of life a person is in, mother is always necessary, and she manages to guide a child irrespective of his or her age. No matter which age the child is in, the Mata is always paripurna, she is always eligible, she is always there, irrespective of our age, of our problems, of our necessities. She is always there, just like that. Bhagavad Gita Mata is there to fulfill all our concerns. She is there to fulfill all the necessities of this human mind, of this human heart. And in that quest, in this role, Bhagavad Gita has so far, in this chapter, opened the doors of Atma Gnan to us. In the last few sessions, we have seen a lot of deep knowledge about Atma Gnan. And this Jnana, Shri Krishna says that this is very, we have seen in the last session, some very beautiful principles, that this knowledge is very, very important. But this knowledge will not come just like that. To attain that knowledge, we have to be on the path of Karma Yoga. And the second section of this entire chapter took a turn towards the Karma Yoga. And in the last session, we saw some very, very important principles of what? Of Karma Yoga. And some very popular shlokas, karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana, ma karma phala hetur bhur mate sangosva karmani. All these things we saw, yes, last session, and we saw some very important definitions of yoga. What is yoga? Yoga samatmai yoga uchyate, and yoga karmasu kaushalam. How this samata, how this entire yoga is dependent on what? This equanimity, this basic principle of what? Being able to stay, of being able to stay stable throughout all different experiences that this life throws at us. Hmm? Some small things. One cricket match won, one cricket match lost. That also brings in ripples of so many emotions within a human being. This is a very small example that I am giving. But even these small things tend to elevate our thoughts, elevate our emotions, and bring a kind of imbalance to our personality that should be avoided at any cost, and that itself is what is yoga. Yoga, we saw last time, it is actually like when a surgeon is doing a surgery, what he will do, he will first wear gloves in his hands. Why are those gloves worn? So that the infection from the patient's body does not reach the hands, and the infection of his hands doesn't reach the body. The hands are completely shielded, and the body is also protected. Like that, our mind, our intellect, our chitta has to be shielded under all circumstances, and that is yoga. Hmm. That is the process of yoga, where we have to keep our mind unfazed from all the different emotions, from all the different things that are happening around us. And last time we were at a point where we were discussing this beautiful shlok, Karmajam buddhi yukta hi phalam tyaktva manishinaha janma bandha vinirmukta padam gacchantya. We had seen that a person who is able to get this kind of yoga, a person who is able to get that kind of stability in their life, they will get what? Padam gacchantya. Gradually they get the highest, what? Highest order position, highest position that a person is entitled to. Padam gacchantya. It is a steady position. It is anamayam. It is beyond evil. It is beyond everything. Hmm. Attains a state beyond all the good and bad. He attains the state of what? Of equanimity. He attains a different state where nobody can, which is beyond anything that we can have in this particular life. Now, when we talk about this buddhi, here the most important thing in these few shlokas that we are going to see, what Sri Krishna is trying to say, that all the karma is born out of our intellect. Hmm. Today we are all learning Bhagavad Gita. Why are we learning Bhagavad Gita? Our heart had this small emotion that I want to learn Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā. And luckily for us, we all had Satvik Buddhi. And that is why because we were possessed with this Satvik Buddhi, what happens? We went in this direction, and around a year back, most of you must have enrolled for this class, and we are here in the level 4 learning the second chapter. So all our karmaja, anything that is born out of our karma, it is coming from what? It is coming from the kind of intellect a person is having. So we have to understand one very important thing, that intellect, our buddhi, our intellect is basically the charioteer of our life. It is, you can say, the driver of our life. Now, if you are in a taxi or you're boarding a cab and you're traveling somewhere, and our lives are in the hand of the driver. Now, if this driver is drunk, what will happen to the car? Where will we end up? Where will we land up? We are in big trouble. What will happen to us? We never know. वो क्या drive करेगा? What is he going to do? So, if the driver is not in a sane state of mind, then our life is endangered, isn't it? Similarly, if our intellect is not in a is in a same stage of same state, then what will happen to our life? In which direction will they go? That we will be in big trouble. That is why, because intellect is our our intellect is a main charioteer. But what happens to our intellect? It is stuck in different kind of sludge. It is always stuck in different subjects, and it is just like that drunken driver moving here and there, no, not having enough stability. And that is why what happens, we are not able to focus sometimes on the things that we should. It is not being spoken about any person. A generic statement Shri Krishna is telling. What happens, that if our intellect is not appropriately placed, then this life will go hayway. And Shri Krishna explains in the further shlokas about the state. If we have a right intellect, how we will be sailing through this world. Yada te moha kalilam buddhir vyatitarashyati tada gantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya shrutasya cha. Whatever we are constantly yadate moha kalilam. What is this moha kalila? Moha kalila is the constant trap of temptations that we have around us. You are looking at a television, there are so many advertisements happening. You are just going for a ride in the car and you see so many banners around you. There is continuously temptations, this WhatsApp and all the things, that notifications that keep coming on our mobiles. What are they doing? They are putting all the temptations in the mind. Buddhir vyatitarashyati. But if the mind, if you're at the time when your intellect becomes free from this mire of temptations, then you will be able to go what? You shall attain that indifference. Tada gantasi nirvedam. Nirvedam is indifference. And it will go in the direction where it has to go. Shrotavyasya shrutasya, it will go in the direction where what has to be heard, it will start hearing. What has to be done, it will start doing. It will go in an appropriate direction. So it is extremely important that we have to have a steady intellect. If we are stuck in a sludge of temptations, if we are stuck in the if this driver remains stuck in confusion, it cannot drive the vehicle in the right direction. Like that, if our intellect gives into this moha kalila, if it gives into this trap of all the temptations around us, what will happen? We will not be able to go ahead in a right direction. So Shri Krishna says that you have to ensure that you are beyond this trap. Shruti vipratipanna te yada sthasyati nishchala samadhavachala buddhis tada yogamavapsasi. So what Shri Krishna is telling here, Shruti vipratipanna te. If you, what happens with us, this Shruti vipratipanna, and before that also Shrotavya Sushritas, we are constantly hearing different things, you know. There is this constant amongst people. Now some Jyotish Shastra we'll listen. Then ye Pandit ji ne vaisa bola, this Pandit ji told a different thing. Like that, we will get continuously confused with different things. We will be perplexed by different versions that we come across. Then intellect, such a confused perplexion will come in our intellect. Yada sthasyati nischala samadhavachala buddhis tada yogamavapyasi. What happens? The intellect first becomes restless because of the fruits of karma kand. Shruti vipratipannate, because I hear, if I do now, Adhik Mas is going on. In Adhik Mas, if you do this, these are the fruits that we get. If we do this kind of tapasya, we'll go get this. This is right, and this is very essential. But that should not be the only driving force behind our all behavior. What has to be done has to be done. There is absolutely no doubt about it. However, at the same time, our intellect should not be continuously driven by those fruits. Our intellect becomes restless by the different fruits of the karma kand, different results of the karma kand. However, if you continue to do that, nishala buddhi, you know, we can it can attain a intellect which is steady. Samadhavachala buddhi. Samadhavachala means samadhau achala. The samadhu, here this word samadhi is coming, it is being used for the intellect. Now we have heard of different types of samadhi. Now this is the samadhis that we know of. They are physical samadhis where the body is very steady. Here Shri Krishna is telling us something much more deeper. Understand that this is so much deep that keeping the steadiness of the body can eventually come with practice, but the steadiness of intellect is more difficult to have. What Shri Krishna says that your buddhi, your intellect should be samadhistha, means what? It should be taking a samadhi, means it should be steady in itself. And steady in itself means what? Steady in Parampita Paramatma. Only that kind of intellect can remain steady which is invested in Paramatma. Other kind of intellect, it cannot be steady. If it is invested in different subjects of this world, with the shopping, the cricket, and all other subjects, if your intellect is invested in all these different subjects, it cannot become steady. However, when it is invested in Paramatma, it will become achala. It will be totally steady. It will not shake easily. And such an intellect can attain what? It can avapsisi. It can attain what? Yoga. That is the self-realization, the ultimate self-realization. What is this yoga? We have already seen. That steadiness of chitta, steadiness of your subconscious mind is the ultimate yoga. This sometimes some people have this we see so many people are going to the temple and so many things. Somewhere we start feeling that spirituality is increasing amongst people, but we should also understand that this kind of spirituality where we see a lot of crowd entering the temples and all this, is it really the spirituality, or are they going to the temples to get their wishes fulfilled? That is one question we have to ask. Is this spirituality driven by the desires? If it is driven by desires, then it is not taking you in the right direction. It is not going to liberate you ultimately. If you have to be liberated, then our intellect should be invested in Paramatma such that we are not going to the temples asking for fulfillment of our worldly desires alone. That is the most important thing that a person should have, and that is the most important characteristic of the a right intellect. Hmm. Now Arjun is slightly calmed and he is also very curious to know about how is this Nischala Buddhi. When Shri Krishna is telling that your intellect is, normally the intellect is perplexed by what we have heard, but if we remain steady, if your intellect becomes steady, then we will attain yoga. And now Arjun is also curious. How do we attain? How do I understand? See, such a beautiful question comes from Arjun. How do I understand that my intellect is stable? And there comes a very important word, sthita pragya. This sthita pragya word is the original word of Bhagavad Gita. And Arjun is calmed and now curious to know more about what is this achala buddhi, what is this sthita pragyata, what is this samadhistha intellect. Samadhistha intellect means the intellect which is in a samadhi state. And Shri Krishna, very beautiful question he asks to uh, very beautiful question is asked by Arjun to Shri Krishna. Sitapragyasya ka bhasha samadhisthasya keshava sitadhi kim prabhasheta kimasita vrajeta kim. Now this Sitapragya is a word that is coined by Arjun in Bhagavad Gita. It's Bhagavad Gita's own word, its own term. And here Arjun is asking, Sthita Pragyasya ka bhasha, how do you define it? Hmm? How do you define this Sthita Pragyata? Now, if I tell somebody, now we have these Bal Sanskar Shivers, Geeta Pariwar conducts a lot of Bal Sanskar Shivers, and in those Shivers, we teach different Nara. Naras are slogans that we teach our children, and the first one of the first slogans that the children learn there is शिविर में क्यों आना है जीवन श्रेष्ठ बनाना है we all say this शिविर में क्यों आना है and then the children respond जीवन श्रेष्ठ बनाना है now then we pose a question to the children when we say जीवन श्रेष्ठ बनाना है means what the Nara says that why do you have to go to the Shivir and children reply that we have to make our life great. What is this greatness of life? When we have to explain, how do we explain that greatness of life to children? Then we'll say, do you get up early in the morning? Yes. Then if you're not getting up, so getting up early in the morning adds greatness to your life. And these different habits, respecting the elders adds greatness to the life. So on and so forth, we'll keep telling them. But ultimately, when there are some children who are very smart and they are like, no, but that doesn't explain, these things are very, very abstract. And then we tell you have to make your life like Swami Vivekananda. You have to make your life like you have to bring in the qualities of Sri Ram in you. You have to bring in the qualities of Sri Krishna in you. You have to bring in the qualities of great people like Tilakji in you, and your life will become, then your life will become great, and then children know what to study. What kind of characters do we have to imbibe in ourselves? Because now they see a personified image of the characteristic that they are learning. If I say I want a great son, I want a son who will add lot of glory to my family, then ultimately what children say, what are the elderly ladies, elderly people in the family will say, तुम्हारा बेटा तो बिल्कुल भगवान राम जैसा है. Chanchal, if the child is little naughty, they'll say that he's like a Shri Krishna. The whiteboard has started. Veena Devi, can you look into it, please? Somebody has shared. Thank you. So this very important thing, we will tell that, the characteristics that we want. So if you want to tell that I want somebody who will take care of the family, who will bring, no, we'll just say Ram jaisa beta. We'll just say Shri Krishna jaisa beta. So that summarizes the whole thing. So Arjun is saying the same thing. Give me an image of a person which will explain me this Sthita Pragyata. How will you define it by different characteristics? I want to know that what is its definition. Samadhisthasya Keshava. Who Samadhistha means he is merged in that superconscious state. Who is completely immersed in that superconscious state, which is a very stable state. Sthitadi kim prabhasheta. Sthitadhihi means what? Here sthita means steady, and dhi refers to what? The intellect. When we say in Gayatri Mantra also, Diyo Yona Prachodaya, this dhi refers to what? The intellect, our wisdom. So what kind of intellect Arjuna is asking? Such a deep question it is. Sthitadhi kim prapasheta. What is the intellect? What is the steady intellect? What is the definition of steady intellect? Because somewhere he is understanding, probably my intellect is also shaking. So what is the definition of the steady intellect? Kima sita vrajeta kim. How does a Sita Pragya person sit? How does he walk? What is his behavior? How do I identify the steadiness of wisdom in a person? Such a beautiful question, because these things are not written over here, right? So Shri Krishna is being asked a very beautiful question by Arjun, that you tell me, how are these characteristics? How do I identify somebody who is Sthita Pragya? Sthita Pragya, this word in itself is so beautiful, and Shri Krishna gives a very beautiful insight into these shlokas. Before we dive deeper into the characteristics, these are some shlokas which we should contemplate on a daily basis. Swamiji always says that somebody who does a continuous study, a regular study, if you read them on the daily basis, your life will be shining, your life will be uplifted. So if possible, try to read these shlokas daily, and your intellect, your life will be completely changed. We will experience a beautiful change in the way we think. It will add a lot of peace to our life. Such people have a lot of peace in their life. So what Shri Krishna replies, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyevadmana tushtasthita pragyastadochyate. Here Shri Krishna has defined the word Sthita Pragya. And starting from this shlok till the end of the chapter, almost he has given an elaborate, exhaustive description of a person with steady intellect. So, Sthita Pragya is a wise person whose intellect has become extremely stable. It is determinate, it knows exactly what to do, what not to do. And how does he happen? How does he fix his mind so easily? To understand all this, let us see first what makes our mind flicker. What is it that changes or brings in distraction to our minds? Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. Shri Krishna has directly addressed the root problem. What is it that hampers the stability of our intellect? That is our different desires. The main reason of all kinds of instability and the shakiness of our intellect is desires, because we are constantly in a state of wanting something, or desiring something, not only for ourselves, for our dear ones. Sometimes you'll say, मुझे मेरे लिए कुछ नहीं चाहिए. I don't want anything for myself. But at the same time, we are hoping something happens good for my children. Something good happens to, my spouse. We wish for something for our family. Constantly, we are in a web of desires, knowingly and unknowingly, and we do not realize that. And those desires, what happens when we are going through these different, or nowadays everything has come at the fingertips. Initially, if we have to purchase something, buy something, at least you have to go out of the house, and we had to expose ourselves to these worldly things. Now everything is at our fingertips. Online shopping, online this thing, all is happening at the fingertips. So our intellect is completely gripped by a web of temptations, and that leads to a lot of desires within us. Summer season, I feel like eating ice cream no matter what. There are so many endless desires that keep shaking our intellect. And it is like, we want to have a steady intellect. Just imagine the steady intellect. Sthita Pragyata is like a steady water. And what happens? There are these pebbles. If somebody keeps putting pebbles, small stones in that steady water, what will happen? The ripples will keep coming in that water, isn't it? It can never maintain its steadiness because constantly the pebbles are being thrown into it. Just like that, no matter how much we try to keep our intellect steady, what happens? These temptations, these stones, pebbles of temptations keep coming in our intellect, and these ripples of desires keep arising within us, and they keep making our intellect unstable. And that is why Shri Krishna says, first characteristic of a Sthita Pragya person, a person with a steady intellect, is what? He has casted off Prajahati. Now, here he has not used a simple word Hati, just Hati. He could Prakarshena Jahati. He has casted off, completely burned down all their desires. Now, these desires are not always bad to have. Some desires are good to have. What kind of desires we should have? Something that will take me on the path, not me, just me, but they will take the society on the path of progress. Sattvic desires are good to have. Bhagavad Gita or Mahabharata does not cast out the desires, but the desires which lead to a downfall or which make you unsteady, that should be casted off. Sarvan Parthamanogatan. All these different things, different different games of minds, that are all casted off by the person of steady intellect. And where is he satisfied? Now, our desires will not come to a person who is completely satisfied. A person who is satisfied will not have too many desires. So similarly, the human being needs to be satisfied with something, then he will be able to cast off these desires. How can I cast off these desires? Atmanyev atmanatushtav. If I am satisfied within myself, if I am satisfied within myself, then there is no desires can affect me. I have to have a fulfilled desires. I have to be satisfied, and then I will not be tempted by any other desires like that. If I have to cast off my desires, I should be self-satisfied. Such a person who is very happy with himself, not just sleeping and lying. Happy means with who is inwards, whose consciousness is meditating inwards. Atmani eva atmana tushtas, contemplating on the Paramatma within him. Such a person is what? Sthita pragya stadochyate. He is a Sthita pragya. When we talk about this Sthita pragyata, how are these people? They are always thinking of great things. How Samartha Ramdas Swami was. He could have done so many different things, and this was how was his thing. He did not have any desires for himself. He wanted this nation to grow, and all his work is in that direction. Is in the direction of what? In the direction of upbringing the society, without having any expectations on the from outside. And within himself, he was devoted to whom? Sri Ram. He was an ardent devotee of Sri Ram. Everything within him was devoted to Sri Ram. Where if you see, there is a beautiful creation by Samartha Ramdas Swami Manachi Shlok, and he says, Prabhate Mani Rama Chintita Zava. Early morning you should keep doing the Chintan of Sri Ram, and at the same time, this Sadachara ha Sodu Sandu Nai ho. You should not give up on this habit at all. So, inward, his chintan is only of the Paramatma. Outward, all his actions are directed towards what? To the betterment of the society. And he is constantly in the path, path of knowledge. He is only happy. Atmani eva atmanatushtas. He is only happy in that pursuit of knowledge and in pursuit of Sri Ram. Whatever things are happening outside will not deter him, will not send the ripples of desires within him. That kind of personality is Sthita Pragya. And further, how does the enlightened Sri Arjuna has asked, Titadi Kim Prabhasheta? How does the enlightened soul, such a person with the steady intellect, how does he speak? Kim Prabhasheta? A person with intellect, good intellect, steady intellect, how does he speak? Shri Krishna explains in the next two shlokas. Dukkeshvanutvignamanas sukheshu vigataspraha वीतरागभयक्रोधस्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते. Dukhesh, now what happens if there is a sorrow or a calamity that we face, unfavorable situations, what all we end up talking? This has happened, that had happened, मैंने तो किसी का बुरा नहीं किया, I didn't do anything bad for anybody, all these things are happening to me, and our mind becomes udvigna, completely shattered, and it is full of sorrow, and we keep on discussing it so much. If there are happy times, then we want to party and have a large celebrations, and we are in an excess happy state. So there is a very in both the cases there is an extreme reaction that keeps coming. But asthita pragya, how is he? Dukheshvanudvigna mana. Anudvigna means what? Even in the case of sadness, in a case of calamity, in a sorrow's phase of his life, the person with a steady wisdom, he will remain unperturbed by all the consequences. Because the only aim of such a person in life is what? To discharge the duty to the best of their ability. That is the only thing that they care for. They strive for the welfare of others without expecting any fruits in return for themselves. They are contented and happy and undisturbed even in the times of sorrow. So, dukheshu, in times of sorrow, they are anudvigna manaha, their intellect, their mind does not become excessively sad. They are able to control themselves even in most unfavorable conditions. And sukheshu vigataspraha, they do not crave for honor, the worldly pleasures, the success, and other favorable condition, nor does he intend to prolong such a favorable state also. Now both these things they are very difficult. You will say, so is that celebration wrong? Celebration is a different thing, but what happens, we become blinded by our happiness. That becomes a big problem. How all this gets summarized in the characteristic of great people. Vita raga bhaya krodha, our entanglement to the worldly thing is known as raga. Raga, bhaya and krodha, these three are, you can say, the foundation of all the reactions that happen within us. In sorrow, and at times of sorrow, we tend to react differently. Why? Because we have this severe attachment towards what we wanted, that is rag. We fear that what I wanted, it didn't come to me. Sometimes what I wanted, it didn't get, it translates into krodha, that is anger. So whatever our reactions are coming in these happy and sad times are rooted where? In our emotions of fear, bhaya, in emotion of our attachment, raga, and in the emotion of in the emotion of anger. So raga, bhaya, krodha, the fear, the excessive attachment towards worldly things, and anger. Out of this attachment and fear, the anger will also come. All these three are going to completely capture your mind, and that leads to instability of our intellect. A person who is Stita Pragya is beyond this. He is Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. Vita refers to moving away from. So they are free from these emotions of excessive attachment, fear, and anger. We were talking about Bal Gangadhar Tilak ji, how he was there in at that particular time. Pune was affected by a bad plague, and people who were found to have plague, they were shifted to huts within the premises. So unfortunately, Tilak ji's eldest son, he was diagnosed with plague, and he was living in the hut near his house. And at that time, Tilak ji was working on a very important article in his for his Kesari newspaper. And during that time, when he was dictating this article, this news came that his eldest son has passed away, and he was obviously eldest son. I need not explain what emotions we have for our elder child. And Tilakji got up. He did what was required. Now, plague patient, they are not allowed to keep the body for a long time. Basic rituals, just darshan dur se, and then he had to let go. And he came and told his assistant, "You let's start writing." So he said, this assistant said, "No, you, such a big thing has happened. We can work on this later, no problem." Tilakji said, "No, just one sentence. It is in Marathi, the original sentence that he has said. He has said, I'll translate it for you in English, but it is such a beautiful thing. What he has said, that the entire nation is undergoing a holy. Holy means that dahan karne wali holy, burning down in holy, and in that one flame has gone from my house also. So the entire nation is suffering. We have to serve our nation." That was the emotion that Tilakji had. Imagine what kind of steadiness of intellect he has. How steady how much he can control his emotions. Such a person, Sthitadhir Munirochyate. Such a person. They are enlightened soul. Hmm? Such a person, Sthitadhihi. Again, the same word is used. A person with steady intellect is called what? Muni. Now you must have heard. Now sometimes we use this word Muni, Rishi, Santa, Acharya. Sometimes this thought must be coming to you. Now here they have said Muni. Why didn't they say Rishi or Santa? We tend to interchange all this. A person who has connected with Parampita Paramatma at a level of at a level of equanimity, that enlightened soul is called Muni, who is able to remain steady in all situations, is called a Muni. Now the same kind of a person, if they start working in the direction of knowledge, they become a Rishi. The same Muni, a person with that steady intellect, if they start working in the direction of spreading the knowledge or spreading the dharma in the form of prachar, that is spreading of this dharma and knowledge, they become acharya. And those who in this state of Muni, they who start spend the message of love, spend the message of equanimity, and share the message of love for all the other souls. They are called Santa. So a Muni is the basic, basic state amongst all of them. And depending on what direction do they go in, they become either a Rishi, Acharya, or Santa. So a person with a steady intellect, who is an enlightened soul, such a person is a Muni. And all these preachings that Bhagavad Gita is telling us, and the definition which Bhagavad Gita is giving us for a person with a steady intellect, where do we see that? We can see all of them personified in one prototype form, and that is Bhagwan Sri Ram. When Bharat came back from his grandfather's home, and he asked Maharshi Vashishta, "What happened to my brother? He must be so sad." Or, what was the expression on his face when he left in exile? Maharshi Vashishta has told that, "I have seen him, whether he is dearly loved by all people of Ayodhya, and he was told that he is going to be crowned the prince. He will be the higher, unka Rajabhishek hoga." When he was told, the expression that he had at that time, and before going to the forest, when he came to bow down and do namaskar to me, the expression that he had when he was going for the exile, both the expressions were exactly same. No difference. Nothing is more important than the fulfillment of our duties for such people. So, what Sri Ram did not have these desires of, "Nay, I need to get the kingdom." He did not decide. Whatever the duty calls for, he has followed it with a state of what? Sthita pragyata, with a state of equanimity, and that is what? That is the entire crux of this entire shlok. And Shri Krishna explains further is again very beautiful. Yes sarvatra nabhisnehas tat tat prapya shubha shubham na abhinandati na dveshti tasya prajna pratishtita. What Shri Krishna says is very beautiful. Yes, sarvatra na sarvatra na abhisneha, sarvatra na abhisneha. Yaha sarvatra anabhisneha. What is this anabhisneha? Without attachment. Now, there can be a question in your minds. What if they are abhisneha means anabhisneha means they do not have any attachment. They do not have any attachment, but does not mean that they do not have a soft heart. They are soft hearted. They will help others, but they will not remain stuck. By remaining stuck, what I'm trying to mean, see, if you wet your fingers with water, and even if you don't wipe, the water is going to dry off on its own. But now if you wet your fingers in oil, oil is so sticky, it will take so many hours to take off that oil from your hands. The oil, it gets stuck. So this end, you just imagine, it will take, and the more you rub it with soap and shampoo and all, and it becomes more and more sticky. So the more we are attached, the more stickiness we have in our emotions, the more stickiness we have towards others, the more we are stuck in affection. What happens? We move away from our duties. See, being good-willed and loving towards other is nice. We should be warm-hearted. We should have good feelings. So, but they should be like water, which flow and help and take care of others. Wherever required, we should be able to help. But our emotions towards people should not be like oil, which flow and then just remain stuck over there. So this is the important thing. Yes, sarvatra abhisneha. They are there, but they are not stuck with the attachment. Tat tat prapya shubha shubham. Wherever, whatever they get, shubha ashubha. What I wanted was what I desired, but I might not actually get what I really desired. I might get something else. So whatever I get, whether it is good or desired by me, or it was favorable for me or unfavorable for me, in things that are good or adverse situations, they remain steady. In that situations, they are not either rejoicing, oh, what I want, I got it, and yes, and but if we do not get immediately, what happens? The feeling of dvesha, hatred, gets into it. Now, if somebody wants to buy a good car and my budget does not allow me, so I bought a decent car, but my neighbor bought a more expensive, more nice car, and then that brings for, see, I couldn't buy what I wanted. So Ashubha did not get what I wanted, but others got. So we might develop a feeling of what? Dvesh, hatred, or competition, jealousy. All these emotions are not present in a person who has a steady wisdom, fixed wisdom. Tasya prajna pratishtita. There, such a person remains free. Navinandati nadveshti tasya prajna pratishtita. They will not rejoice excessively, nor now see. Bal Gangadhar Tilak, we know of the hardships that he has faced. We have spoken about them in different sessions, but he was also given lot of awards. He had a lot of recognition, and he had so many followers and so many students. They all loved him. All that did not bring any sense of pride in him. There is a story from Maharashtra again. There is a Santa who has written great scriptures, and then he was for some kind of work that he had written down. He was awarded with a doctorate, and for all that literature that he had written, he was a pandit, and he has written all this scripture, and he was given this doctorate, and he was very happy. Obviously, now he took that certificate and came home, and all the people came to congratulate him, and they came to discover what this person had already put his certificate aside and started working on his next work. And people are like, Arey, now that you have got this, at least celebrate for some time. What this great person is replying, me saying that I had what I had to achieve. This is achieved and I have kept it. It's just a piece of paper now. I've kept it aside. But my work is greater than these recognitions that I am getting. I have to finish my next task within that particular set of time. This kind of intellect, which does not get stuck in any favorable things, also, that is pratishtita. Pragya pratishtita means the steady intellect. Hmm, that this is what is very important. And after explaining this perfect one, the one who is satisfied in self, he or she lives in a perfect equanimity of with in the state of pleasure and pain. Hmm, such a person is not he does not have a he has a complete absence of attachment, and he has a balance of rejoicing, happy celebrations, and aversion, whatever negative positive he will take in a good sense. All these characteristics Shri Krishna has explained, and then Shri Krishna tells a knack to how to achieve this. So this is the ideal case. We are seeing Bhagwan Sri Ram. This is how we should be. Tilak ji and other pandits. We are seeing all this. This is how we should be, and how to achieve that. The secret to that, Shri Krishna reveals with the help of examples. Shri Krishna is explaining the secret to achieve these things with the help of examples in the next two shlokas. What he tells is very important. Yada samharate chayam kurmonganiva sarvashah indriyani indriyarthebhyastasya prajna pratishtita. Here, with an illustration of Kurma is tortoise. With an illustration of a tortoise, Shri Krishna is explaining the behavior of a Sthitapragya person. What Shri Krishna says, Yada samharate chayang kurmongani vasarvasha. Like this is a typical characteristic of a tortoise, that when they see danger coming in, we all know that tortoise has a very stiff back, has a very sturdy back, and his hands, legs, all other body parts are very, very soft. The moment they see danger around them, what they will do, they will withdraw from everything, and they will withdraw and they'll pull inside their limbs and head and neck, everything they will pull into the shell, and it protects that way. It protects itself from all the different types of dangers, and the shell of tortoise is very hard to break. Nobody can easily affect that, hurt that tortoise's shell. So all these different organs he will pull inside and protect himself. Like that, Shri Krishna says that a sthita pragya person, when he sees that there are so many temptations around him, when he sees that there are so many desires that could be pulling him out, when he sees the danger of temptations making him lose his own control, what such a person will do? He will withdraw all his sense organs from the different subjects. The moment I see that these pop-ups that are coming in my mobile are distracting me, they are making me click all those notifications from video apps and WhatsApps, and they're pulling me into their trap of apps. That time we should be able to pull ourselves from the different temptations. So that's what Sri Krishna says, that just like a tortoise, see, this tortoise is in itself a symbol of stability. You remember the Kurma avatar of Vishnu Bhagwan, Kurma avatar, when this Samudra Manthan was happening, and there was stability required for that mountain. It will be, churned with the snake. Now, when that mountain is churning this entire sea, it will keep moving. That mountain has to have a steady base. So Vishnu Bhagwan took the Kurma avatar and stood under that mountain. And that is the importance of this tortoise is always seen as a symbol of stability. Shri Krishna has explained the same thing, like how the tortoise maintains his, stability by protecting his organs, how he withdraws from all the things and withdraws into his shell, just like that. The moment a Sita Pragya person sees the danger of temptations around him, he will withdraw all his sense organs and stay away from all the temptations. That is, he maintains very little affinity towards the subject, and such a person with stable wisdom will be able to withdraw. Further, Shri Krishna explains that merely withdrawing from these distractions is not enough. See, if I say that, I withdraw from this, we do this Ekadashi Upvas and all that. But if I'm withdrawing from the food, and then what happens? But we are still thinking of it. So just withdrawing is not important. We have to invest it also in the right direction. Shri Krishna tells a very beautiful thing next. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasopyasya parandraštva nivartate. Vishaya vinivartante. Just the person with steady intellect, they turn away from the objects of their senses. And what do they do for that? What has to be done? Niraharasya dehinaha. Dehinaha means a human body. A human body or any body for that matter. Dehi. Deha is our body. Dehinaha is the person who's the creature who is having a body. So essentially us. Now here, what is important, what Shri Krishna says is niraharasya dehinaha, by remaining nirahar, by depriving oneself of the food or depriving themselves of the ahar is anything that we consume. So by depriving that, we can remain away from these temptations. Now, ahar is something that we consume. Ahar is not restricted only to the food that we eat. Ahar is a generic term. Ahar for our ears is what? The sound that we hear. Ahar for the eyes is the things that we see. Ahar for the mouth is whatever thoughts we are getting, we are expressing it. So that is our ahar for the mouth. So being nirahar does not mean just not feeding the body. Being nirahar here means not feeding the sense organs, not feeding your senses, not feeding your eyes with other movies, other temptations that distract you. Why do we do fasting on food alone? Why should we do fasting only on food? One day we can have a fasting of different things. Like one day we will not watch certain things. One day we will not, fasting of TV, fasting of mobile, fasting of watching TV, fasting of not talking for a day. There is a saying that Swamiji tells about, he is saying when he used to take Maun breath, he will take a fasting of not listening to anybody also. Because if I am not expressing, I am not talking, but I am constantly listening to something also, it is a food that I am giving to my ears, and ultimately my manasthiti, my inner conscious is affected by all these things. Hmm. And once we start, see, it can be difficult, but gradually when we try to do all these things, when we, try, even for one day, half an hour, 2 hours, I decide I will stay away from my WhatsApp, 3 hours, I decide gradually, and then we increase that span to full day, and gradually we will observe that we can actually live without all these things also. So we can keep all the objects of enjoyment away from ourselves. However, Rasavarjam rasopyasya parandrishtva nivartate. From within, our mind is not free from these subjects. So I will say, on Ekadashi, when people do the fasting, now in summer season, if they are doing the fasting, okay, I have decided I'll not eat even a single bite, but it is the season of mangoes. A mango to chal jayega Ekadashi ko. Though if we have decided not to eat, but the brain, the mind, the desires are still affixed at what? The subjects for the food. It is still affected. Okay, if fasting is there, but what can I eat then? There has to be some substitute. So, though we have decided to do the fasting, our mind is still affixed in the subjects that we have decided to fast on. So, it is like that. So, basically, this entire thing of fasting, what it is like, you cut down all the, if there is a small plant, you cut down on the leaves and branches and all this. But while you are still watering the trunk of that plant, what will happen? The leaves and branches are eventually going to grow and grow. So basically, it is not the fasting of the sense organs which is only going to solve the purpose. Your mind has to basically do the fasting. Hmm, when we are saying that, you are watching and enjoying a movie, suppose, if you are enjoying the movie, is it your eyes that are enjoying the movie? No, it is your mind, by the means of the eyes, who is enjoying the movie. We say, "अरे देखने में मजा आ रहा है." We will say that. सुनने में, if some nice music you hear, and you say सुनने में मजा आ रहा है. But is that enjoyment actually coming to the eyes or the ears? No, it is coming to the mind. It is the mind which is enjoying these different worldly subjects from the sense organs. So even though we try, it is very difficult. That we just withdrawing from all these things is not enough. What we have to do, we have to control. Eventually, we have to learn that mind has to be controlled. But beyond that, if it is not possible to do what, to have a complete control over everything. And unless our mind is under our control, that Sthita Pragyata can never come to us. So further Shri Krishna elaborates how to overcome this problem. Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschataha indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manaha. Yatataha hi api kaunteya. Even, we keep trying, we keep striving. Everybody is trying to do this. What we have to understand is indriyani pramathini, this Indriyani, these sense organs are very turbulent. They are very, strong. And haranti prasabam manaha, they will violently, they will, just take away your mind from it. So this entire system is very difficult to control. It is not that we all don't try. Even after trying very hard, even the very wise and sincere sadhaks are unable to focus sometimes. Because why? Because Indriyani Pramathini, these sense organs are very, very powerful, and they can sometimes easily defeat the mind. We all know the example of Vishwamitra. 3 times he fell to the different temptations. So, what should be done? The reason for this fickleness of this mind is that it is not established in the right thing. What happens? We are trying to control the sense organs, but this mind is still having a loose end. That loose end of your mind, if you fix it, permanently establish it in God, then what will happen? The sense organs will automatically drive towards where the mind is driven. Because right now my mind is driven towards the OTT platform and towards the WhatsApp and towards the other YouTube and whatnot. Because the mind is attracted to that, automatically the sense organs are attracted to it, and it is very difficult to control them. However, if my mind is fixed, permanently established in God, if my mind starts enjoying what is happening to you all from past 1 year learning Bhagavad Gita, our mind is affixed in Bhagavad Gita, we enjoy. And that is by what happens, our eyes, our entire body, 40 minutes class, when we are sitting and listening, we are steadily able to control and sit through these sessions. Why? Because our minds are affixed in Paramatma, in our minds are fixed in our Shri Krishna. So we have to understand, we try to meditate and control our sense, but without fixing the mind on God, it is not possible to control our sense organs. So there are so many people who do these meditation sessions and sadhana, and then they tell you to focus on the flames and on the candles and on the breath and all whatnot. Arey, kyun? Why you have to focus on all this? Is there a fix it on God, on my Vitthal Bhagwan, on Krishna Bhagwan, on Sri Ram? And once my mind is fixed there, then the almighty power will also come to our rescue. It will ensure that your sense organs will not go anywhere. Understand that any meditation, any dhyan which is taught, by cutting the spirituality, by leaving aside the supreme divine power from it, is not meditation in true sense. The meditation which skips Om, the meditation which skips the name of Paramatma, the meditation which drives you away from Paramatma or does not let you focus on the Paramatma, is eventually going to be very, very short lived, because in this human body we cannot focus on nothing and control our emotions. That we have to understand. So, what we should do? तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. Shri Krishna has given the healthiest method to achieve this perfect intellect. What we have to do to attain this perfection? We have to make a constant attempt of focusing our mind, focusing our attention on the Supreme God. परमात्मा पे ही ध्यान रखिए. So the entire technique of self-protection is covered in these three words. Yukta asita mat paraha. Yukta means what? Having a balanced, yogi, balanced life. Asita means what here? Sitting in a meditative state. Asita. This is not the past tense asita. This is asita means stably sitting for dhyan or meditation. And where mat paraha, completely taken refuge in what? In Parampita Paramatma. When I'm telling this Parampita Paramatma, I'm not saying that specifically only Shri Krishna or Shri Ram, whoever is your deity. It could be Saraswati Mata, it could be Vitthal Bhagwan, it could be a deity, it could be Ganesha Bhagwan, Shivji, but in the Supreme. With the full devotion, if we are able to do this state, such a person will be in full control of his sense organs. He will be devoted to me and meditating on me. That person is what? Tasya prajna pratishtita. Because of his such a state, Vashehi Yasya Indriyani, he will be in a complete control. And because he is in complete control, he will be called what? He is called a person with a complete steady mindset. So when such a thing happens, the sadhak will have a completely controlled sense organs. He will enjoy he will enjoy only the things. If he has to see something, he would see the scriptures. He would love to read the scriptures. If he has to listen to anything, he'll listen to the bhajans, he'll listen to the name of Paramatma, and again keep investing in that, and gradually it will take him on a higher level of salvation. And such a person will not automatically develop a distaste towards worldly enjoyments. But what about those who do not devote themselves to God? And what happens to those who are still stuck in this worldly enjoyment and not able to understand all this? That we will see in the next two shlokas in the next session. With that, I offer this entire discourse at the lotus feet of Param Puja Gurudev, with whose blessings we get to go through such beautiful topics. Let us all pray for Sita Pragyata from Shri Gurudev, and let us all offer this discourse to his lotus feet together. Hari Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Tat Sat. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you so much, Didi, for guiding us today on how we should not get attached to any favorable situation or event, as well as any unfavorable situation and event in our life, and attain the sthiti of Sthita Pragyata with the examples like Rishi Vishwamitraji. Thank you so much. With this journey of learning and alignment of Geeta Gyan, we are happy to share that our Geeta Sevi Bane program is organized by Geeta Pariwar from tomorrow, 24th May to the 28th May. Please attend these programs and experience the divine happiness, Anand of Seva. There will be a grammar session organized by Geeta Pariwar from level 1 in various languages like Marathi, Hindi, English, etc. tomorrow on 24th May. Please attend these sessions and please enjoy the learning process of Bhagavad Gita. Vivechan Satra are organized by Geeta Pariwar on every Saturday and Sunday. Please share this link of Vivechan Satra with your friends and family as well. Now, if anyone has any questions or queries, please raise your hand. We are going to start question answer session. Jai Shri Krishna. Ji, Malthi Didi, please unmute yourself.
Krishna Malvi Didi.
Jai Sri Krishna Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna.
I have a quick question about what is the role of learning these meditation techniques? Any meditation, I've tried so many different things. My focus is always on Bhagwan, as you said, and it always starts with Om and these various pranayam techniques, Bhastrika or Brahmari or whatever. What is the role of those? Is it just to get us to the state where we can sit and focus on Bhagwan, whether it be Ram or Krishna? And how valuable are those?
And how valuable are those? This is the most important thing. See, learning to focus on Bhagwan is what we are trying. While learning Bhagavad Gita, what are we trying to do? See, there are different things we learn through Bhagavad Gita, and ultimately, what is the last message that Shri Krishna gives in the 18th? Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Ultimately, the thing is we have to take refuge, but it is not easy. How do we attain that? That has to happen in different steps, that has to happen in different paths. So all these techniques are gradually taking you there. The Sharanagati that I wish to have, it is not going to happen just in one go. Abhi socha maine and then immediately I am devoted, and it doesn't happen. All these meditation techniques, and pranayam is much deeper. Again, dhyan, this yoga, all these Ashtanga yoga, all these different things that we learn. This yoga and pranayam. Pranayam is a process of purification. Pranayam is very important for the body. See, tatakshiyate prakasha varanam. This is the definition of pranayam as per Patanjali Yoga Sutra. What it means that, just to explain this, what you are saying, Bhasrika and Kapalbhati, all these pranayams, what do they actually do? If you have seen these old machinery, you'll see that scooters and all, they will have these pipes and all, जिसमें ना वो अंदर से जंग लग जाती है. They'll have some sticky oiliness. What do? We will clean them with a pipe, all those old pipes, all tubes and all that, they need excessive cleaning. And we do with the help of, and that all carbon, that is, the older scooters used to have that carbon plug and all, plug they used to have, and that you used to deposit carbon on them, and then you have to clean that carbon, and that plug will start working, the scooter will start working as if it is new. The same thing happens with our body, with a continuous see. Ultimately, it is a machine. Samdas Swami says, "Sharira sarke yantra anika nahi." It is a machine only. Constantly there is lot of deposits. We now a new name, that toxins have come, the toxins, you can say. There is lot of carbon like thing accumulating everywhere in the small हमारे body के नस जो हैं उसमें accumulate होता है. Pranayam is a technique of cleaning all those things, and they not only affect your health, they also affect the stability of your mind. We cannot do that angioplasty and all that. It can be done to the walls of the heart because they are slightly bigger, but that cannot be done to the small nerves in the brain and all. So that cleaning process is done by pranayam, and it is extremely important. And when that does what it does, the definition is prakasha varanam, that we have a light within us. And all this deposits of carbon that I'm talking about, or the toxins, they hide the light which is within your body. And this pranayam and all other techniques, they uncover that light within you. So it is also solving the purpose of cleaning your body, making it fit for sadhana. At the same time, it is also enlightening that divine within you. So in both ways, they are taking you towards a higher state. That is one important thing, and that will give you a lot of stability to your body to be able to focus on do Bhagwan. It is not easy. It is not easy to focus on Bhagwan by itself. वो थोड़ा थोड़ा practice से ही होता है. That is why all this sadhana is very, very essential. Okay, Didi?
Thank you, Didi. And is there a certain sequence of pranayam that is recommended by Gita Parivar, or because
Not
different teachers will
recommended
teach you
by
different?
Geeta Parivar,
Ah,
but we see you can follow Swami Raodeo Baba's this thing Patanjali. He works so hard for everything. Or you can go through our Yoga Sopan. Obviously, you can go through our Yoga Sopan course material that Geeta Parivar has given. But as a separate, because that is not in the domain of our this thing, but you can listen to Sanjay Bhaiya's lectures. Sanjay Bhaiya
yes,
talks
yeah,
a lot on all these things.
yeah.
So you can look at his lectures. You can obviously follow Swami Raodeo Babaji. Then this in Janardhan Swami Yoga Abhyasi Mandal of Nagpur. So these different these are the legitimate ones that I know of that we can try. Yeah.
Thank you, Didi. Jai Shri Krishna, as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Priya Didi,
Krishna Priya Didi.
please unmute yourself.
Pranam Priya Didi. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Didi, my name is Nisha. Sorry, it's not
Sorry,
Priya,
Pranam.
actually.
Yeah, very sorry. Jai Shri
Yeah.
Krishna Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna. Didi, as you mentioned today that, and by the way, the Vivechan Satra was really great. As usual, it's very informative. My question is, when we say that we have to, that nirahar, that we should not even consume any, not only food, we're talking about any food of thoughts, right? Or any but when we are talking about that, it's very hard to, especially because our mind is or our mind is so like it needs something all the time, right? It does, it could not stay. It's very hard to make it stay to something. And we can make it make it steady for maybe a while, maybe like a brief time, but after some time it does goes around to some other thoughts. How can we make it steady for longer time?
This comes by practice. Slowly, that time will gradually increase. Similar thing Arjun has also asked in the 6th chapter, that this man is very chanchal, it is very
Yeah.
tough. And Shri Krishna has told the same thing, Abhyasena. You have to practice. Only by practice that stability. See, today I might be able to sit stable only for 10 minutes. Tomorrow for 12 minutes. And then that incremental level comes, and then we see some people who can sit for hours without eating, doing. And another thing, in that one important thing, Nishaji, is when you are doing something that you like कुछ अपने पसंद का कर रहे हैं. Suppose I like to paint sometimes, and if I sit to paint now, you will forget all hunger, sleep, everything you'll forget, and 3 hours, 4 hours will go like that. So that is one thing. If we develop a liking towards this Niraharta, because the moment I realize that sitting without my mobile is really making me feel very happy, then automatically we will be able to, by practice, take it for a little longer time. It could happen that so there are two things. One is by gradual practice, we can increase the time. And secondly, the more, see, when we initially start doing pranayama and all also, my friends only I see, they're like, अरे 2 minute में इतना bore होता है, that third minute they start yawning. But gradually, now you see, with a little more abhyas, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, even my own experience also, when I was much more younger and tried, initially ऐसा लगता था सो ही जाओ while doing अनुलोम विलोम. But now 15-20 minutes, it's a normal thing. That time where it will go, we will not understand. So that is the thing, that gradually with abhyas this will come, and then gradually what happens, we start having, we develop a taste for that niraharta also. We develop a taste for that activity, and automatically your time limit increases. So that it definitely comes by abhyas. And when we say being nirahara is for certain times to give that stability, and that stability ka effect will remain for the day long. But I'm not saying that the entire lifetime we cannot be nirahara also. But what happens if I have done meditation for 15-20 minutes in a day? That gives us stability for the entire day. It keeps your mind calm for the entire day. For the second day, you will need second dose of meditation. Okay, so whatever practice of 15 minutes of Niraharta, like you must have heard of this fasting, that 16-hour, 12-hour fasting. What does it do? The moment we stop eating or consuming food, our body starts cleaning itself, isn't it? That cleansing process, what do you call? Detox. That detox of the body starts the moment we start fasting. Similarly, when I detox my ears, eyes, everything for some time from all these gadgets, then that detox will clean my subconscious mind also. So when you enjoy that process of detoxing of the mind, automatically these things will happen. Okay.
So, Didi, I'm trying to avoid, because previously, whenever I am focusing on work or I do something, I need something, ringing in my ear. So I used to play music, but now I am trying to avoid do that. But still, being habituated to that, now I have changed it to like hearing pravachans or guruji's words, so that I can hear something healthy something healthy for my mind. So is that a good practice, or this is also not a good practice? Can you hear me, Didi? Am I audible?
Yes, Didi, you are audible. Just a wait.
Didi is audible. Actually, there was a problem with my network of the other device, and I missed a part of what she said. So the thing till which I heard, it was that you are trying to.
So I can reiterate my question. So I sometime I whenever I'm working on something, I used to play music, but now I have changed my um instead of listening to music, I changed my mindset to, or even let's say if I was scrolling through some videos, shorts and all, now I have changed it to listening to pravachans or hearing those Premanandji Maharaj question answers, so that I can only gain some good food only for my mind. Again, is this correct? Like I'm
That
still
is
feeding
right.
something to my mind,
See,
right?
that is right. But if you're feeding the right things, then it is good, right? There is nothing wrong. That is what we intend to do. Hmm.
Right.
Because of the process of detox that you are working on, you have started investing into the right things. That is what is more important. So absolutely, that's right. Gradually, we have to work ourselves from the Rajogun towards Sattvagun. So, jo Rajasi enjoyment that you used to have, now that has moved towards Sattvic enjoyment, and then gradually we have to go beyond that and become Gunatit. But that is
Right.
a long way. But yes, that's definitely good. All the
Thank
best
you,
to you,
Didi.
Nisha Didi. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you.
Narayana
Narayan Bhaiya,
Didi.
Jai
Yes.
Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Pranam Didi.
Pranam. Jai Shri Krishna.
Yeah. Just my question is also like a similar questions, but the topic is interesting. The Sthita Prajna, how just to how to love the Sthita Prajna Lakshanas, because it's always a conflict in the mind. Like so, just I was listening to your the lecture Pravachanas, and then also there's some desires. I had I memorized, oh, there's a coffee shop, and I end up in the coffee shop and drinking a coffee now. Uh, So it's like all conflict going like so how the Siddhartha Lakshanas and these pravanas are more important than coffee or like that. So how we have to make love
See,
the Siddhartha?
see, at least you didn't disconnect from the session and go to the coffee shop. So that is good enough for me to begin with, because anything is not going to happen in one day, in one moment. At least ये हुआ कि it was not a feeling that I dump this Vivechan and go to the coffee shop. No, you wanted both things hand in hand, and then gradually you move towards it. So that is more important, that gradually we are taking a step towards that sattvikta. That is more important, right? So as long as we are on the path of progress, we should be happy with it. And baki to high level ka I would see, and we are human beings. We have to make a middle way out of it. And Shri Krishna also doesn't say that immediately leave everything and do this, but make it a gradual practice. It is not impossible, and we have to make it a gradual practice. So it's okay abhi coffee पीने का मन किया, but at least you kept listening, and these small temptations, gradually it will go. See, there is nothing you know wrong in having desires. Now, how to reduce that desires? Swamiji gives a very good trick. He says that अपनी इच्छा को बहुत व्यापक बना दीजिए. So, for instance, if I feel like having a pastry or a gulab jamun or something nicer, so क्या करेंगे? I want to see this. These things are constantly tempting me, and I lose on my diet, and all that thing happens. What should we do? We have to make our desires vyapak. Means what? I will eat, but I will eat only by sharing it with 10 other people. ऑटोमेटिकली द डिजायर विल, अब 100 लोगों को पेस्ट्री खिलाने के बाद खाने का क्या ही मजा आएगा. So अच्छा जाने दो. So gradually that thing happens. Or if I feel like eating gulab jamun, I say okay, I want to eat, then what I will do, with Thursday I will take it as a prasadi to the temple, and then I'll give it to everybody, and then only I will have it. And gradually your desires can be controlled, so that way you can gradually minimize them. एकदम से उसको बंद भी नहीं करना है. That is not required also, and their desires are good. See, Shri Krishna was also saying that Kama is my vibhuti, dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshapa. That also Shri Krishna says. So some desires are necessity, but those which are not a necessity and which are deviating you from the path of your sadhana, they can be reduced by such techniques and uh, by a gradual control, by gradual increase of the control.
Okay. Thank you, Guruji. Yeah, it's
Thank you
very, very helpful, that one, the sharing. So at least, otherwise I'm feeling like selfish. Oh, I'm coming, you are desire and you are eating and drinking by yourself. Then at least the technique is really good.
Thank you, Bhaiya. Jai Shri Krishna. Pranam to you. D. Ramanathan Bhaiya, is it possible for you to turn on your video?
Sure.
If not, you
Sure.
can just tell us.
Sure.
Tell. Jai Shri Krishna.
See, in 47, every family, head of the family is cast upon duties. He has to take care of his family. In 47, we say it is karmanyevadhikara ma paleshu. So I don't have a right upon my result of my duty, nor I attach to my duty. And at the same time, in 57, ya sarvatra nabi snehas. Without sneha or attachment, what binds that particular person to do his duty?
Here, when we say about abhisneha, means what? Meaning not excessively attached. It is your duty to take care of the family. You don't need an attachment to take care of the family. It is your responsibility. And karmanyevadhikaraste, here, I am not sure if you have gone through the previous session, where I had very precisely told the meaning of this adhikar word. Adhikar does not mean the right. I don't have a right over it. It means my eligibility is only till doing the duty. As a head of the family that you're saying, as a head of the family, or even as a housewife for that matter, my duty is just to take care of my duties. Beyond that, keeping an expectation, I am not eligible to keep an expectation. Adhikar is not right in Sanskrit. So, last session, if possible, try to go through it on YouTube, and that explanation of that shloka I have given in depth. So you can go through it where I've specifically told what that word adhikar means. Apart from that, what you said, that sarvatra na visnehas, if you are requiring an attachment, then only because they are my children I'm doing it, only because it is my family I'm doing. No, you are entitled with that duty. It could be whatever it is. It is your duty as a parent to take care for that, with or without attachment. You have to take care of them. That is the crux of the whole thing. Getting it?
So I have to understand, I need not have any sneha bhava when I do my duty. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Bhaiya, you are audible. There is some problem, technical problem in the
No,
audio.
my other device became muted, and उसका co-host चला गया वीणा दीदी. It is not without affection. Sneha there is not. It is abhinsneha means excessive attachment. I told you that we should. That does not mean we should become emotionless. The attachment is like water and not oil. So it is not something that will stick to it, because see, it is like, when a doctor is, suppose, I don't know if this is the appropriate example, but just for don't take it very very literally. A doctor is expected to do the surgeries and everything. It is his duty to do it. But the moment his own relative, his own son is on the OT planet, he becomes, his hand shakes. A very very this surgeon, efficient surgeon who has done thousands of surgeries in his lifetime, उसको करना पड़ रहा है. But at the moment he understands that the patient is my own son, and his hand will shake. That is what your excessive attachment does to your skill set. That keeps your, otherwise you would have done it efficiently without any problem. Every patient you are treating with full efficiency, and nicely you are handling and rectifying their problems. But the moment you know it is your own son, your hands are trembling. Like that, that attachment makes you weaker. It deters you from your responsibilities sometimes, and that is why we should be free of attachments. Last time I also gave an example. If I'm traveling and in the train, if my own children are doing masti, I'm very happy. Look, see how much they're enjoying this journey. The moment other people's child starts jumping on the different berths and disturbing, I will say, "Arey, kaise no manners these children have." That is the difference in perspective that comes with excessive attachment. So our responsibility should not get affected with their attachment. That is the meaning of sabsneha. Got it?
Namaste. Namaste.
Jai Shri Krishna. Prasad.
Jai Shri Krishna, Didi. So it's a really wonderful session, nice and informative, Didi. Actually, in 3-4 slokas, same stanza is repeated. That is Tasya Prajna Pratisthita. That how can we understand this one?
No, because he is telling the different characteristics. Like in 12th chapter, no, also he has told, na, he is my favorite. She is that when he tells about Priya Bhakta, such a mama Priya. Like that, similar thing it is here. It is not having a different meaning in different contexts. Shri Krishna is telling that these are the signs. Such a person's prajna pratishtita means his prajna, it is steady. Pratishtita means it is steady. It cannot be easily shaken by anything. हम कहते हैं ना प्राण pratishtha means what? That enshrined, that pran is enshrined into this. Such a person's prajna is pratishtita means now his intellect is enshrined in steadiness. His intellect is properly steady. It cannot be shaken.
That means, can we understand it as a steady intellect like that?
Steady intellect. It means steady intellect.
And one more thing, Nabhinandati. What is exact
Na
meaning?
abhinandati. Abhinandati means anand. We doesn't excessively become happy in certain things. So some people in happiness, It excess happiness. Sneha also, abhisneha is what? Excess attachment.
It is
Sneha is
more-
good to have. Abhisneha is excess excess of sneha, excess love. Like that, anandati is becoming happy for something. Excess happiness is,
more well-being.
yeah.
Yeah. One more thing, rasavarjam rasopsasya.
Like when Kaikeyi Mata sent Ram to exile, she was excessively happy that the whole plan is so much her intellect went that in the palace Dashrath ji's deha was lying and still she's standing with the aarti for Bharat ji to welcome Bharat ji.
Okay.
घर में मृत्यु हुआ है and still that is like so much anand that he has gone, so much in anger. Kaikeyi Mata was not bad. She was a lady with great character. She was very nice and she loved Ramji a lot. But in that dvesha, in that krodha, in the fear of all this, what has happened to her intellect? And in that intellect, after putting all this plan in place, so much excess happiness that she has forgotten the basic etiquettes of thing. And she's stand when Bharatji comes, she's trying to welcome him with a arti, and then when he comes to know, he's becoming very angry. Abhinandati. Irrespective of any, we are just overly enjoying our success like that.
Rasavarjam rasopsasya.
Rasavarjam rasopyasya, that is again, your mind is, can you tell me the number of the shloka? Rasavarjam rasopyasya, 59.
59.
So it is rasavarjam, rasa is your, longing for that thing. So rasavarjam rasopyasya is excessive, your longing, because my, longing for that taste or rasavarjam, leaving that longing. So rasaha api yasya. So I means that rasa basically means longing. Rasavarjam means
Leaving
discarding the longing for it.
discarding. Okay.
So just by investing my this is comes in context of nirahara, right? So where I discard the longing that I have. जो मेरा मुझे कोई किसी बात में रस है, मतलब मुझे किसी बात में बहुत ज़्यादा interest है, I really like certain thing, but rasavarjam, I am able to leave that longing, discard that longing, and parandrishtva nivartate. We are able to take away that self, and parandrishtva nivartate. Looking at God, I am able to discard that longing for the different subjects. The nivartate is turning away from it. Turning away from the rasa, turning away from the subjects by doing what? By looking at the param, means at the supreme. Parandrishtva. Looking at the supreme God. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Didi. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Jai Shri Krishna, Dhanashri Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna Didi, Shraddha Didi, thank you so much. But what a beautiful vision. I thought I wouldn't have any questions, but I was listening to questions from the participants, and I know that just got me started. I had a follow-up on that meditation question that other Didi had asked. So, like in these days, there are lots of different types of meditations that are being taught, like mindfulness, Kriya Yoga, this, that, where the focus is like calming down the thoughts in the mind, but not like focusing your thought on the on
Because
Bhagavan
we
or
are
anything.
secular, no? So that is the problem.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on that? Like, that seems to help. I tried all of those too. But then what does Geeta say about those, or like what would be a better way of doing, or can we combine?
That time all these mindfulness, all this was not there. So Geeta does not say anything. So from this platform, honestly, I will also not comment on all of it. But one thing is good, that by the means of all these programs, people are making an effort to calm their mind. Gradually, a calm mind will automatically move towards something that soothes their mind. And what soothes the mind is love for Bhagwan, ultimately. So, these people which drive you away from that, focusing on the Paramatma, is because they are fearful of, upsetting certain things. But gradually, kya hota hai that, people like us or other, depending on their nishtha, they will be drawn to Paramatma once their minds are calmed down. So to begin with, it is fine. But ultimately, the permanent solution to it is what? That we meditate by focusing on Paramatma. That is the ultimate devotion.
How do you
And
do
क्या
that? Like,
होता
is
है,
this Nam Japa or something? Like, how do you
this
exactly
is a
focus on
very, very beautiful question, Dhanashree Didi. How do I focus on? Initially, it is not if I just close my eyes and think of Paramatma, and it is not possible. So what we have to do? This japa, this Swamiji tells very beautifully. Jap is like, you know, how a plane takes off. First, it will run, it will, with a huge speed, it will travel on the runway and then it will take off. The jap is the runway of meditation. And then actual takeoff is in the dhyan sthiti. So if I have to take off to the dhyan sthiti, what I have to do? I have to do continuous jap. जब करते करते लगेगा फिर थक जाएंगे बीच में, then just close your eyes and do ध्यान. अब ध्यान किसका का करना? How do I do the ध्यान? You can do the ध्यान of the रूप of Paramatma. When I think of Vittal Bhagwan, अरे कटेवरी हाथ, you know, his hands are on the waist and standing like that. I think of Vittal Bhagwan, अरे so beautiful you are, and standing there for his devotees. Sometimes I can just, if not, then you can do dhyan of the dham of Bhagwan. Bete bete, if you have visited Ayodhya, or if you have visited Anandi or some other pilgrim, then you can just think you are sitting in that temple, and doing the dhyan of the temple is also equivalent to doing the dhyan of the. Sometimes just the dhyan of Naam, Vishnu Sahasra Naam ke Naam, ek shabdatika, it's a small word. One word you take of Vishnu Bhagwan, and you can think for so long on that name itself. So, and then Rupaka, unke Rupaka I already told you. So you can think about the Roop of Bhagwan, you can think about the Naam of Bhagwan, you can think about the Dham of the place of Bhagwan. All these things you can do. And then after that also, sometimes after doing all that, again we will not be able to focus, फिर बोर हो जाएंगे, फिर जप शुरू कर देना. So you have to keep transiting between that jap and dhyan, jap and dhyan. Dhyan also, sometimes you cannot keep thinking of Bhagwan. Then sometimes you can just imagine Adharam, Madhuram, such a beautiful figure of Sri Krishna is in front of me, and you can do the dhyan of Sri Krishna, Sri Ram, whoever is the deity. And वो ध्यान and jap के बीच में transition होते रह के, you can attain that state.
Okay. So when you have to do the japa, is it like a naam jap? Matlab, what exactly is it? Is it like Ramayana Mahal? If one wanted to do
Wherever
dhyan
see,
Ram, Ram, Ram.
jap you should do of the name that soothes your heart. If I tell you now you do Ram Jap, but आपकी mati buddhi is always invested in Krishna, because you Jai Shri Krishna कर करके. So I do where your mind is. Do the jap. किसी को मैं बोलूं अब राम नाम जप करो, कृष्ण नाम जप करो, बेचारे हैं शिव भक्त. You know, we have to do that
What I
namaste.
wanted, is this like a mantra of that deity, or is this the name of the deity? Like Vitthal, Vitthal karoge aap?
Anything. Both are equally good. Both are nice. Ram is a name. It is bigger than the mantra also. So wherever you find solace, you can do that. All mantras are not meant for japa. Like if you say Gayatri mantra, that is not meant for japa. Matlab for people who have not undergone that thread ceremony. Ladies especially also avoid it. So ऐसा शास्त्र कहता है, but now I am not eligible to comment on all that. You can ask Ashu Bhaiya for details, but ideally, so whatever we are sure of, so Naam Jap is the easiest of all. And then mantra jap, अब उसमें आप राम भी मंत्र ही हो गया वैसे तो, but Namah Shivaya is good enough, whatever. So
Okay, so these different types of meditations,
to ask
and
yeah,
this meditation and this naam japais can be combined together, or they can be just separate, and this can be also a
they
meditation.
have to be combined together. Without the jab, I told you, without the runway, you cannot take off. So, they go hand in hand.
What was the yoga sadhana course that you mentioned? Where can I
I
find
didn't
details
mention
about
any
it?
yoga sadhana course. Sorry, I didn't. No, I didn't. Yoga Sopan is what we follow at
Oh,
Geeta
yoga
Pariwar.
sopan. Okay.
To the children, we teach that course. It is not like proper syllabus or anything. We take these
Oh,
classes through our Bal Sanskar Varga for the children. I am not
acha.
recommending any yoga courses here. Please, तुम्हें क्षमा करें.
Yes,
I
you
am not.
mentioned something about this yoga sopan to understand
वो तो
pranayam
गीता
and all those.
परिवार में हमारे योग तपान का पुस्तक है, उसमें कुछ बेसिक आसन है.
Okay. ठीक है. Thank you so much.
Thank you. जय श्री कृष्ण.
Jai
हरि
Shri
हर
Krishna.
जय श्री कृष्ण. प्रणाम to you. You can start talking. You're already unmuted. Harihara Panigrahi.
Yes, yes,
Pranam.
Didi.
Jai Shri
Jai Shri Krishna, Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Modi, I have got only one question. This is in Shloka 55. Yes, it reads like Atmani eva Atmana Tushtaha. You have explained it. I want a little elaboration. How do you reach this state?
How do we reach this state? This entire discussion is
Yes.
about that. What I discussed with Tanushree Didi some time back, it is
Ji.
all about this, this state of dhyan and japa, transiting between these two. That is this Atmaneva Atmanatushta. It is the method of going inwards. Entire sixth chapter is also devoted to this particular thing, not just sixth alone. Gradually, you will see all other chapters are also taking you towards that sthiti only. But basically, the meaning of this phrase is being able to be happy, content with ourselves. When Shri Krishna is described in 13th chapter, the characteristics of a jnani, he mentions that the person is able to enjoy his own company. They are able to just, be in their own swadhyay and in their own self atmani, they can contemplate upon the meditation and dhyan, all that we are talking about, and they can be happy with themselves. So that is the state that we are talking about. What is our situation now? For to become happy and to enjoy, we need to go outward. हमको बाहर जाना पड़ता है, मॉल में जाना पड़ता है. We have to meet friends. We are seeking happiness outside, but the people who have attained the Sita Pragyata, they know that the real happiness is within them. Okay.
How do you keep yourself inwards and still enjoy your life? That is exactly I wanted
What?
to
Keep
keep
what?
yourself inwards, then still remain happy.
You can, if the with staying inwards only, you can really be happy. Why? I'll tell you. Just give me 1 second. One call.
Ji.
Sorry. Really sorry. Repeatedly one call was coming. So
Didi, I am online.
basically, the thing is that we are thinking about how to live happy. This only by going inside one can be truly happy. Why? Because all other happiness is short-lived. Suppose I am deriving happiness out of watching a movie. That happiness will be for how much time? 2 hours movie का जितना time है उतना plus another 2-3 hours, 1 or 2 days I will feel happy that I watched. And then in
Right.
that 2 days that happiness will fade away, right?
Right.
Similarly, I'm enjoying lot of delicacies. Somebody was in a coffee shop some time back enjoying the coffee. How long that happiness is going to last? Till the coffee lasts, till they reach home. उसके बाद घर का दाल चावल ही है. So that happiness is again short-lived. So all the other worldly pleasures, worldly happiness that we get, the happiness that we get from worldly things is short-lived, and that is why that happiness is also short-lived. The happiness that we get from going within and becoming happy with ourselves, that happiness is long lasting because we are always with the Paramatma. Paramatma to Sanatan hai. He is Sanatan, he is Akshara, he's always there. So that is why that happiness which you will get out of the love for Parampita Paramatma, that is the permanent in nature.
Didi. Thank you, Didi. Thank you very much.
Jai Shri
Kalpana Didi, Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna Didi. So my question is, of course, centered on what you were already talking about, the Sthita Prajna, which is, the mental stability, intelligence. We are all working for that, mental stability through meditation. Now, my question is, to what extent the Prakriti, which is having all the gunas, and especially the atmosphere right now of war, where there's so much of dukkha, to what extent are they affecting us? Because there is a vibration which is coming and touching us. And if I watch the news, if I keep seeing all the dukkha going on, so naturally, to some extent it's touching us. So, can you tell us that how you're trying to keep your mental stability, but there are gunas in the atmosphere, rajas, tamas, and even the sattvic guna is supposed to be having egoism in it, though however much you work on it. So this was just my question.
So basically, Didi, one thing we have to understand that there are a lot of things around us which disturb you, but as long as you can do something about it, we should keep thinking about it. We should be sensitive towards all issues. But something in which I cannot do anything, then there is no point, getting perturbed beyond a certain limit for those things. Another thing is we should also understand that there was no yuga where these good and bad things have always stayed, whether it is Satyug, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga, all other Treta Yuga, all yugas, all these things have always coexisted, and gradually we have to understand what is our role in all this fitting. We should not just, get depressed and while away from this thing. We should not just let our attention go away from this thing. We have to stay focused. It should not be like all other news are disturbing me beyond a certain limit.
Yes, I understand. But what about the vibrations? Everything has vibrations. The atmosphere is getting polluted. So, the vibrations are there, which is affecting us.
Yes, in that case, what do we do? What did we do in COVID? We wore a mask, right? There was a virus everywhere around us, and we were wearing a mask and protecting ourselves like that. These vibrations are going to try to affect you. We have to build up our own immunity. We have to build up our own spiritual immunity. We have to build up our own emotional and intellectual immunity. We have to build up our spiritual immunity. That is the only way to stay unaffected by these vibrations.
Thank you, Didi.
Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna, Didi.
Indira Didi, Jai Shri Krishna.
I think this would be the last,
Yes.
Didi's last question. Ji.
No, if there's a time constraint, I can postpone my
No,
question.
no, aap
No
bol dijiye.
urgency.
I'm saying
Yeah, yeah.
after you, we are
Okay.
stop. Cool.
Jai Shri Krishna. I
Jai
just little extension from this topic on meditation. If one does not or one goes beyond the formless meditation from a form meditation to a formless meditation, which is advisable? The meditation on the Atman,
See,
that is reflected.
I'll tell you one thing very important. I got your question. You are talking about this avyakta or vyakta. दोनों में से किसको हम meditate करें?
Yeah,
Whether
no, Vyakta, that's okay. It depends on the stages of meditation. Some people might have gone to Abhyakta. In Abhyakta form, I want a distinction between whether we should focus on the reflected consciousness, that the Atman, or the unlimited consciousness, the Paramatman.
See, it is not in the capacity of everybody to focus on the Paramatma. But here, both are ultimately the same. This is a problem. If we are thinking about meditating at that level, and if we have not had the realization that both are same, then there is no point in that contemplation at all. Because we have to understand that Atma hi same hai. Both are actually the same. They are not different. What is the realization that Santa Tukaram Maharaj had? That ultimately by doing the bhakti itself has become like, equivalent to Paramatma. When Shri Krishna is saying that they enter me, what is that the meaning that they enter me? Because they become so united with me. If a person is not so united with God, no matter how much they try to think, the Atma and Paramatma are not different. Unless that realization has not come, there is no point in contemplating upon the Avyakta. That is not possible to have that contemplation of, on contemplating on the Avyakta form, because हमको यही नहीं पता चला है कि वो अव्यक्त मेरे अंदर है. Unless we understand that Atma and Paramatma are same, हम उन दोनों फॉर्मलेस अव्यक्त स्वरूप पे ध्यान ही नहीं लगा सकते हैं. That is more important.
Didi, I get your point. I agree to what you say completely. But then in the 18th chapter, that Siddhi Sannivishto, Again in 5th chapter in the, I think 27th sloka, how to spashan krutva bahirvahans, that sloka. So after bringing that, then again he's talking of that consciousness is within in your heart or the center of consciousness. Then what do I focus on the center of consciousness within myself or the unlimited?
No, just to focus on the love towards Parampita Paramatma. The moment we start focusing on the Parampita Paramatma, we will understand that center of consciousness within me is the Paramatma himself. जब दोनों में अंतर ही नहीं है, then why are we creating a different, it is a, until we don't understand Paramatma, these two are different. Until I am to, what is the problem? Listen, I'll tell you the very basic. Our problem is our ahankar. Ahankar means not the ego, pride. Our problem, ahankru bhav. Like I am different, the world is different. The moment that bhav diminishes, that when I realize that मैं ही परमात्मा का बच्चा हूँ, and when we start, that in that devotion, when we flow so much that we realize that Parampita Paramatma ही मेरे सब कुछ है, and I am a part of him, and the world doesn't mean anything to me, that time we are united with that bhav. But till the point that sparshankritva bahirvahya, all these things, till that realization has not come to us, we are different from Paramatma. And the moment that realization comes, what happens? We realize that अरे it is not different. तो फिर आप आत्मा पे concentrate करो या परमात्मा पे concentrate करो, you are concentrating on the same kshetrajna tattva. What Shri Krishna says in the 13th chapter, kshetrajna chapi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Within all the kshetra, within all these deha, I am that kshetrajna. मैं ही तो वो आत्मा तत्व हूँ, परमात्मा का ही तत्व है. तो आप किसी पे भी contemplate करो, दोनों एक ही. अब हम when we want to put गंगा जल, spread गंगा जल in our house, do we every time go to Rishikesh and वहां पे घर को गंगा जल के पास लेके जाते हैं? No, we bring a part of it in our house and sprinkle it everywhere. Atma is like that. It is the part of that divine which is within us. वो हमारे साथ हमेशा है. So it is like that.
Okay. Okay. I will some other time discuss this with you. Thank you so much, Didi. It was very nice. It was very nice.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you so much, Didi, for guiding us today. Now, as we are moving forward,
session and your pleasant presence throughout the session, Prajakta Didi and Veena Didi. Thank you to both of you.
Thank you, Didi. Now, as we are moving towards the closure of this session, I would like to thank all the sadhakas because they joined this session with enthusiasm and participated in this session. Like, I would like to thank our tech staff and all backend team for making this session successful. Now we are moving forwards towards the closure of this session. There will be a prayer and Hanuman Chalisa. Please be connected for the Hanuman Chalisa part. Now, as we are going to take a prayer to offer our happiness on Shri Krishna's lotus feet, I would like to invite Jyoti Didi to perform prayer. She is devoted member of Geeta Pariwar from 2024 and giving seva as a sport trainer in L2. Jai Shri Krishna Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna Andi. Yogesham Satchidananda Vasudeva Vrajapriyam Dharma Sanstapakam Viram Krishna Vande Jagadgurum Shri Krishna Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you. Didi, could you please play Hanuman Chalisa part?
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि बरनउ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र औ ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिंहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोज सगावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर पल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरै हनुमत बल बीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान